Let's paint a picture. You land a new client and you're super excited to start their project, and then you immediately wonder how you're gonna keep track of everything. How are you gonna onboard them? What do you need to onboard them? What's the information that you even need from them? How are you gonna keep the project organized, and what tasks are you gonna be doing specifically in the project, or getting the information of the things that they even need you to do? You know that it's go time and you need to get organized fast. But where should you even start, and won't that take a really long time? Well, not necessarily. We all have to start from day one. We all start somewhere, right? Even myself, who has a ton of different systems, really streamlined and organized and automated, I started my business one day with 0 systems. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to organize your business now so you feel less overwhelmed and even more excited to start your new project. Or maybe you don't even have a new project coming up, but you're trying to organize all of the ones that you currently have going on before you even take on more clients. No matter what boat you're in, today we are going to talk through the steps that you need to do to organize your business today. Okay, first let's talk project management styles, because everyone's brain in business is different. So are you the type of person that needs every single nitty-gritty task laid out, or more of just the milestones? For example, write blog outline, draft blog 1, find images for blog, edit draft 2, review blog, schedule blog, etc. Or is it just create blog, schedule blog? This is super important because you don't want to start a process of writing every single nitty-gritty task if that's going to leave you more overwhelmed because there's going to be 10,000 things on your to-do list. But maybe you're prepping to hire a team, or you have a team and you need to write the nitty-gritty task because different people are going to be taking over different aspects. So you have to sit down and decide, okay, where am I at? How does my business and brain work? And then go from there. And while you are actually writing and documenting these processes, and if you are looking to hire in the future, it is never too late to start laying the groundwork. I would highly recommend in your project management tool, creating an SOP library. I'm actually gonna show you inside our SOP library template, and I'll make sure to link it in the description below so you can see what I mean about documenting your processes to then easily hand this off to a team member. Now let's think about the thing that's overwhelming you the most. Is it onboarding the new client? Is it hiring the new team member? Keeping up with your marketing efforts? What I want you to do is actually write down and start brain dumping all the things in your brain that are concerning you right now. And then decide which is top priority that you need to tackle first. Once you have your first priority, this is gonna kickstart your momentum. So whether it's creating a plan to be consistent on Instagram, or creating a plan to organize your email inbox, or write down the steps of a project for a client. This is where you're going to decide, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and now let's discuss how you're gonna address it and organize the process. What I want you to do is I want you to take this thing and I want you to brain dump all the things that you have to do for it. So is it creating your Instagram content? Is it creating this project, all the pieces that you need to get this project off the ground, up and running, all the phases for your client? Because here's the thing, a lot of times we avoid what we don't know. Meaning, if we have so many little things going on in our business or in a project that we think we might miss something, we actually end up stalling. This is why gathering all of the details to create a rinse and repeat plan obviously is gonna get you more organized, but it's actually gonna save you so much mental energy. Before I tell you what to do next, I wanna show you some tangible examples of project workflows. So managing the project in my project management tool, ClickUp, and managing the client onboarding piece in Honeybook. So this is where you'll be able to see where I'm gathering all of these details for projects and mapping out the process so next time I have the same type of project and client, I can just rinse and repeat the plan. Let me ask you this. Are you super overwhelmed with the client onboarding piece? For example, maybe in your project, you need to get access to the back end of their website or have access to all their branding, photos, and colors and guidelines. Maybe you need a bunch of passwords to different softwares they have to be able to do your job. Well, this whole process can be automated through a CRM like Honeybook. While you're going through your project the next time, you can go and see, okay, these are all the things that I needed from this person to get this project done. Well, now I'm gonna create something in my onboarding process to get all this information from the start. Let me show you a couple examples in Honeybook.
So here's an example of my strategy session. Now, if I have a strategy session, I need to gather some details before we actually have the strategy session, wondering what they want to accomplish, what's their experience level, and things like that. So I apply this workflow, and immediately after the payment is made, it then sends the email to book their session. And then it also sends the ClickUp Consulting questionnaire. After that's complete, I'm going to put the session date into the project details. After the questionnaire is submitted, it's going to send them a thank you. We're going to have intensive pre-work reminder in case they didn't fill it out. Send coffee money, have something for me after the call as well. This is kind of getting away from the onboarding details that I was talking about. But here you can just see how in a workflow in Honeybook, I can have templates like questionnaire templates, email templates, all put into an automation that are sending these things without me needing to do it manually. So if I show you here, we have the email template. If I open this link here, you'll see this goes to my consulting scheduler, so I don't have to manually block off and coordinate schedules as well. And again, it's going to send this questionnaire all upon them paying their first payment, and I don't have to do a thing. So you can see once you gather these details for your processes that you can put it into an automated workflow within Honeybook, and it's going to do that admin work for you automatically.
And maybe you're actually more worried about the implementation piece, that you have all the details that you need, but how are you gonna map out this project in different phases, the timeline, and keep it consistent so you know exactly what your capacity is when you take on these projects, and you know when you do this once, the next time you have this exact same project, it's just copy paste. That's why I love ClickUp's Template Center, because I'm able to map out my workflows into a list template and then just duplicate it for each new client. Of course, there are going to be things that vary per client. And if that's the case, you can also put placeholders and then know, here's what I have to change for each person. Let me show you inside our workflow mapping template so you can get an idea of how to map out a project with a bunch of different tasks from start to finish.
So this is our project workflow mapping template available in our shop and our membership. I'll make sure to link it in the description below if you literally want to plug and play this into your ClickUp right now. But just wanted to show you a couple things when it comes to mapping out workflows in this sort of fashion in ClickUp if you're looking at this from a holistic overview of one project. So here you can see we grouped this by phases, right? So we have 4 phases in this project. A note here and a little tip. How do we get it to look like this instead of it being grouped by status, which is the default? Well, we actually created a drop-down custom field, called it phases, and then we grouped by that custom field phase. So that's how we got it, these tasks to nicely group into here so we can see these different phases sectioned out. Another cool thing here is we utilized milestones. So this again is just a marker both in list view. You can also see it in Gantt view. Wherever you see these diamonds, this is showing that it's a milestone within the project. How do you mark milestones? You just click on the 3 dots and you go to convert to and then mark as milestone. So here you'll see this is going from start to finish, right? We have the due dates, we have dependencies going. So if you're working with a team and someone's trying to mark this off as done, you're going to get a warning, hey, you're actually waiting on these things, so you can't really do that. And so you'll see that this is mapped out in this linear fashion, like we had talked about earlier in the video. So the whole goal of mapping out this project in ClickUp is to really see this entire workflow from start to finish and track the progress of this project. So we have this list view. You can also see Gantt where you can visually see the dependencies. So task 2 can't be done unless task 1 is done and the kickoff call is done prior, etc., etc. So you can also remap these two in this Gantt view, which is really cool as well, seeing how if one thing is getting delayed, it's going to delay everything attached to it. So this is just a quick glance at our workflow mapping template, some examples, see how you can see statuses as well. Where is this task in progression? What status is it in for the entire project? And that is it for mapping out a project workflow in ClickUp.
And now lastly, maybe you're not overwhelmed by all of the client projects, client work, onboarding, things like that, but you're more overwhelmed by things within your business internally, like creating content or managing the team. Well, I want to show you an example as well of processes I've mapped out in workflows within my marketing department. So let me give you an example of mapping out a workflow with repeatable steps, creating an SOP for creating a YouTube video. Now here's an example of our YouTube workflow that we actually use to bring these videos to production. And before I show you this, I want to just mention, this is a process, right? So you need to organize your business now, but there's going to be a process to where you're putting all these pieces together and it's not going to be overnight. But once you have these things in place, it is going to actually change your life. So showing you this, these are the different stages that a video will go through. Need to film, filmed, editing, review, ready to schedule, scheduled, and published. So the video is going to come through here. You can link the Dropbox folder, film date, notes, things like that. And then you'll see all the different subtasks that we have to bring video to completion. Now, these are all the subtasks. Different team members are doing different things, but then we actually create SOPs for specific things that team members need instructions for, and we put those in our SOP library. So in here you can see here are this is the blank template in our team resources SOP library, and just taking a look at this one example of creating the thumbnail. This is for our team member. When they are responsible for doing this, they'll have all of the examples, guidelines, Canva link, everything that they need to do this one piece of bringing this YouTube video to completion. So these will go along the different statuses along this pipeline. We'll be able to track all the different things that have to happen for this video if we're on track according to the due dates. And then we'll be able to track this entire process. We also have a tab for analytics and different things like that. Keep an eye out for this because this is going to be something that we are going to be adding to the template shop eventually, which I'm super excited about, but I hope this was a good visual for you as just seeing how we take one task within our business, aka creating YouTube videos, and we map it out into a clear, repeatable process and workflow. Okay, so I hope those 3 examples were helpful for you. Now that you have a little bit more tangible examples of how you can use your systems to get organized, I want to say this. When you find that first thing that you need to organize and you start brain dumping all of the pieces, I want you to take those pieces and then group them into categories or phases. If it's a project with phases, you can map it into phases. If it's something like creating a YouTube video, you can just say, okay, from start to finish, here's what needs to happen. Start mapping these things out, whether it's on pen and paper, some people work best that way, or it's in a Google Doc, or it's in a project management tool like ClickUp. go through and think of all of the things you can to get this project done. Now what I want you to do is next time you're doing this thing, go through and screen record yourself doing these pieces. Now that you have all of these things, I don't want you to freak out and say, maybe I missed something, because what I want you to do is take this list next time you're doing this thing, whether it's a client project or creating a piece of content, and I want you to go ahead and go through it like a checklist. If there's anything missing, add it in there. If it's all good to go, awesome. Now you can decide, is this something I still have to do myself, or am I able to now pass this off to a team member and get it off my plate? If that's the case, I want you to go ahead and start recording yourself doing this process and putting it into the workflow. You're gonna realize that all of a sudden you have these pieces documented and they're no longer living in your brain. Every time you go to do this thing, you have all the pieces you need, so you're not stalling saying, I don't even know where to start. Okay, now you may be wondering, that's great, Christy, but there are some things in my business like my files or my inbox that are like explosions. Well, what I want you to do here is actually set about 15 minutes per day to just start going through these things. The same thing with mapping out your projects and organizing the processes within your business. I want you to just set time on your calendar to get these things done. Make them a priority and don't expect too much of yourself to get it all done in a day. Because I won't say that you're gonna be able to organize your entire life in one day. That's not realistic. But I will say today could be the day that you start implementing these simple steps to create systems and organization within your business, helping you control your workload, worry less, and be able to get things done faster. Just start with one thing that you can start working on today to gain more momentum. And then make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our channel to learn all about the systems that can help you organize and streamline your business. So let's do a recap, because I know there were a lot of things in there and I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Start by brain dumping all of the things and the processes within your business that are stressing you out, the things that you feel are all over the place. Then you're going to prioritize them. Put them in a list of what you're gonna start with first. Take that thing and start mapping out all the pieces that you have to do to get that done. Group all the pieces in phases or groups, and then use this checklist next time to see if you missed anything. All of a sudden you have a process that you can plug into your project management tool and either know exactly what you have to do next time or be able to delegate this to a team member. After you've completed the first one, let's move on to the next. Just start completing this process until you've tackled each thing. And know that more things are gonna come up as you are growing and expanding your business. It's just life. Again, if you are just getting introduced to project management tools and CRMs, like I mentioned in this video, Honeybook and ClickUp, go ahead and check out all the other videos on our channel to dive deeper into what they are, how to use them, and how to set them up in your business. We also have so many amazing free resources at dasilvalife.com/freebies. I will link that in the description below. Make sure to check them out, and thanks for watching.